Hello everyone, my name is Shlomi, welcome to class. So today we're going to learn on Zoom. Yeah, I know it's not so easy, but the pandemic is shit. And yeah, let's start. So imagine you're moving into a new apartment with a new roommate. It can be your best friend or it can be someone you didn't know and you just met up to share an apartment. Now you should better make some rules for your apartment. You don't want to move into an apartment and you both live in the way you're used to without any obligation, without respecting each other's boundaries. It could end up not so pretty. So it's best to make some rules to have clear what you need, what your expectations are, and figure out, are you at all a good match to be roommates? So I want you to each write down 3 rules that you would have to do, that you would create with your roommates if you move in with them. So let's divide up into pairs now. So I'll assign you into break rooms now. Hold on. Okay, here. So you, Clara, you're with Josh. You're in the break room. Good. Mike and Oren go in. Okay, good. Ahmed and Fatima, you're over there. Okay, good. So now I need to write down 3 rules that you would make up. You're moving in with each other to be partners in an apartment as roommates, and you have to create 3 rules. The rules have to include they have to include the word must. It has to be an obligating rule, like I must wash dishes or sweep the floor or whatever it is. It has to be must. It has to use the form must, and you have 5 minutes to complete the task. Then you're going to go back to the regular class. Okay, go ahead. You have to create. How many rules do you have to create? Okay, very good. 3 rules. Okay, and what do the rules have to include? Do they have to include must, or can they be optional rules? They have to be. I can't hear you. Not optional. Okay, so what are they? Obligating rules. Okay, yeah, it has to include must or shall. Okay, very good. Go ahead. Okay, great job. So as you saw, we discussed a little bit of moving into rooms and shall shall, must, or may. So by the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to better identify and use legal terminology. If you look at a document of a contract, of a lease, it looks like shit. You don't know what it's talking about. So by the end of this class, you're going to be able to understand better the words, and you're going to be able to identify some red flags in your new lease you're going to sign eventually. So I want you to not fall into a bad lease. I don't want you to have to paint the hallway or the whole building, or to sign by mistake a contract that increases its rent by 50% monthly. You don't want to do that, right? Or do you? I don't know. Do you want to pay a contract that increases its rent? Do you want to sign a contract that the rent increases by 50% every month? That's not a good idea, right? Is it? No. Okay. So in order to identify red flags, we're going to learn some terminology. So now we're going to use Quizlet. I'm going to put on the whiteboard over here behind me. I'm going to project some questions and vocabulary. I'm going to project vocabulary on the board, and you're going to shout out the vocabulary that you know. Okay, are you ready? Yeah, exactly. You're gonna see it on the screen over here, and you're gonna have to say what the vocabulary means. And if you get the right answer, I'm gonna flip it over, and you're gonna see if you answered right or wrong. Okay, do you see that? Yeah, the first one is a sentence. You have to identify the difference between must and shall, or may. Okay, yeah, good. Okay, great job. You answered the questions very well. So now is the real practice. I'll hand you out a worksheet now with really bad rules for a rent. You don't want to sign that contract. But your job is to see why not. What is wrong with that contract? Why do you not want to see that? Why do you not want to sign that? So I'm going to put it on the chat right here now. You see the contract? You have to identify 3 reasons, 3 flaws why you don't want that contract.